Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode one, the launch pod. Hey, of In Session with Thomas and Tara Suber.
Yes, and we are excited. Party people, make some noise.
Wait, y'all tell me the truth. Does Thomas sound excited?
I'm very excited. You can't go based on that.
Listen, party people, make some noise.
I don't want to scream in the mic. Woo! That's my Ric Flair.
Don't do that
Woo!
again. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that level.
But welcome, guys. Thank you so much to our friends and our family. Just the vibe that you've been giving us, the support, whether you verbalized it or if you shared our link, if we saw you in passing, we are um, truly humbled by this experience. And thank you so much. Thank you. I wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And because of modern technology, this is something that has been long overdue. And we're just so happy. We're so elated, just like Tara said. Just to give you just a little bit of brief history, both of us have worked in radio.
Hmm.
It's been over 10 years for me. Uh, and you know what? The person that trained me told me not to say a lot. Let me stop. I got to get out the
Rewind it.
radio mind, y'all.
Rewind it.
I got to get
Rewind
out
it.
the radio mind.
Who
Gotta get
trained
out-
you?
Who trained me?
Ty
Ty Singleton trained me. A guy by the name of
Oh my
Ty
God,
Singleton.
Everybody knows who
Uh,
Ty Singleton is.
But you got to remember, Tara,
Mhm.
this is internet, so
Oh, so
there's a
Ty
lot of people.
Singleton
Yeah,
is from the Low Country.
yeah. He was
Everybody,
from
our local,
Charleston.
our local folk will know who Ty Singleton. Wasn't Ty from Cross?
He was from Cross.
He
Yes,
was
he was.
definitely a gentleman on the radio.
He was.
His was tremendous. Miss my brother.
Him, Frida Lorraine.
Oh,
Uh,
miss my sister.
they trained me how to work in radio, and then it was always a desire for them to have a show at that time, a urban talk radio program
Hmm.
on that station at that time,
Okay, yeah.
and it was a success. 5 years from oh god, and I'm doing some math. It ended in 2007.
It was 2007. I remember.
And stepped away to take care of family, to do some things. And here we are today.
Here we are. Here we are. Shout out to Mr. Terry Bass.
Yes. It was
Terry?
his birth child.
Huh? That was his birth child.
It
That
was.
that talk show
Yeah,
was
it
his
was
birth
his
was
birth
his
child.
baby, and Terry was very instrumental in the success of that show. And him and Thomas started out. I remember you and him being together on the show
Right.
for a while, and then duties kind of called Terry away, and he wasn't able to be there as much. And I just kind of stumbled in the studio one day when the program director at that time, Belinda B.P. Parker, at that time, on that side of the water, uh, she heard me on the air with you and enjoyed the interaction.
Right.
And she says, "Man, we gotta get her in there another day during the week." And it was like 2 days a week I would come in with you, and it was just fun. It really was.
It
And
was.
It was a lot of fun.
It was. And here we go. We got so much to talk about, so much to say.
Yes.
Uh,
Lots of guests coming in.
we
We got
do,
the thumbs
we
up
do.
from a couple of our local focal who's gonna come on and share.
Babe, you can't say that a lot.
I can't say local focal.
Yeah, you can't say
That's not cool.
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm gonna let that go.
Okay.
Do not say local folk. That's on my do not say
Yeah,
list.
don't.
That
Yeah.
is funny. I'm really writing it.
But we're excited, and there's some things, a lot of topics, some things we're gonna jump into. But one of the things we're gonna kind of kick off today. My wife made some notes, and both of us have been talking for the past few weeks. Like, what should we talk about? What should we get into?
And this was a spontaneous conversation
It was.
based on something. What happened? Something we saw. Either it was a post on social media or something. We was like, "What? Okay." And we just had a conversation about it, and we thought it would be real cool to kick that off today
We
and talk
thought so.
about it. Can I do some more shout outs first?
Okay.
Okay, he holding me back from my shout outs. Shout out to, is it okay to say shout out or should I scratch that off too? I don't know. Y'all look, I haven't been on radio since 2012,
But this internet
August 2012. I haven't been working in media
and media.
since August of 2012. I started out back in 97
Oh wow,
in
it was that
1997.
long. Yeah.
A wonderful man. You guys in Charleston, South Carolina may know his name, Edwin the Chef, right? Edwin the Chef. He gave me an opportunity, and he recognized the talent and recognized the gift, and they nurtured me. I was under the tutelage of greats such as Edwin, Sam Dennis, Frida Lorraine. Y'all, I sat in studios and ran boards for these people and just listening and learning every step of the way. So God bless you and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. And I stayed in radio in several capacities for almost 15 years.
At that
For
time, yeah.
almost 15 years at that time.
Hmm.
So thank God for you. Thank God for seeing the recognizing the gift and stirring up the gift in me. Now I can't shake it loose. I can't shake it loose. It's a passion. We anointed to do this thing. So we're moving on, right, baby?
We're moving on.
We're moving on. Topic of today. What we gonna talk about at the party?
I wish we had a camera in
I
here
wish
so
y'all
I
could
could
see
see
me
how.
dancing. I'm
Yeah.
dancing.
We're going to talk about married versus being single.
Yeah. I know.
Married versus being single.
Y'all look. This is our first episode. And in future episodes, we're definitely going to do a live format so we can get your call ins, we can get you texting on the live and letting us know what you think. So, we're keeping it safe today, but we wanted to talk about married life versus, what did I say, married?
You kind of sound
Excuse the Mount Pleasant in me.
you kind of sound like Tyler Perry when he
Married,
when he comes into character with
married.
what's the character that Tyler
Madea.
Perry does? Yeah, you kind of look like
Maybe that's
Madea
what I
when you
was
did
thinking.
that.
I was looking at this church fan. I ain't gonna tell you who on it. It just kind of took me.
Let me stop. I don't want to sound too
Oh,
silly.
Jesus.
I've
I
been
got a
told
church
if you laugh
fan,
too
y'all.
much, you sound too
Look,
silly. But we're gonna
I
no.
got this church fan because
Don't do it.
I get I'm up in age a little bit, so I need the fan, and it was a little something. Fun. Maybe that drew me in to say merit.
Don't do it.
I'm not gonna do
Don't
it.
do it.
I'm not gonna do it until
Don't
they
do
start
it.
sponsoring us. Then I can call their name out. But
Even then,
anyways,
don't do it. Lord Jesus.
anyways, the topic married life versus being single. Of course, we're married.
Yes, we are.
This year be
This year will be 17 years.
17 years married.
17 years.
17 years married. Lord Jesus, I think we've experienced just about everything.
Yeah, we went through it all.
Through it all, through it all. We've been through it all. And yet, we're still here.
I'm still here and
We're
still
still
learning.
together.
And still learning.
And still loving each other, y'all.
Well, like that.
Hey, baby.
Like that in Living Color, that old couple on Living Color. And we
Still
still
together.
They trying to
Say
kill
that.
each other. It was
Oh,
David
yeah.
Allen Greer and
And,
Kim Wayans.
Kim Wayans, yeah.
Oh no.
That's hilarious.
they used to do
Baby,
all
that's
kind of stuff.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We still together. We
We
still
still
together.
together.
I heard somebody say, oh, I can't remember the reference, but we had some loud confrontations, some very loud discussions every now and again. But
Of
hey,
course.
it happens. It's
Yeah.
married life. A lot of people. I think we were the post that we saw had something to do with somebody said something along the line of waiting for my such and such, preparing myself for my so and so, and I was like, child, listen, you better enjoy your single life.
That's right. Enjoy it.
Enjoy your not to say that being that I'm married, maybe you may feel like, go Tara, that's a bit selfish. You have a husband, maybe that's what I desire, but I'm just saying, I know that's what you desire, but wait on Jesus. I know you're waiting on him, but enjoy while you waiting, because marriage life is wonderful, but it
Yes.
is indeed work.
And babe, you came up with some. I mean, you came up with some good points and some nice notes. I gotta give credit where credit is due.
Sweetie, let me tell you something. These are not my notes. These were you and I were conversing.
Oh, really?
And I was taking notes while we were conversing. So some of these things are you.
Oh,
So
okay.
hey, baby, you got some nice thoughts, some nice things.
Okay. Okay. Well, one of the things that's happened or that happens, being married versus being single is, your focus changes.
Yeah. Your focus changes.
You got to break that one down.
Your
to me.
focus does change because, I can just go based on my single life. I was a single mom with 2 boys, and my focus was my boys.
Okay.
That's all I had to do. I went out, I worked, I took care of my boys, and we did us. And that's it. I didn't have to worry about coming. I cooked for my boys. My boys like hot dogs and ramen noodles. Or my boys like hot dogs and macaroni. My boy, they weren't very picky. They just
No, they
whatever
weren't
I
at
cooked,
all.
they put it together. So my focus had to change when I was married, baby, because when I met you, I couldn't just focus on my boys. I had
Right.
to nurture that relationship with you because although we dated for what, seven
About 7
years
years.
before we were married, we never lived together.
Right.
I was
Right.
living by myself with my boy. Look, I was strong.
And you know what, Tara? I got to interject on that
What you
because
guys
I'm
say?
glad. I'm glad you said that. And this is to all the fellas, all the guys,
Mm-hmm.
and there are other topics we're going to jump into that we could add to this, but just to scratch the surface, I think it's good. You talked about how you was on your own
Mm-hmm.
with the boy, with your boys. You was
Mm-hmm.
raising your two sons.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I didn't do that I regret, and me and you have even talked about in the past,
Yeah.
I never actually had the experience
To live on your
of
own.
being on my
Yeah.
own. Because what I did was, and I don't mind being transparent and being honest with you, what I did was is that I actually got the home and got everything set up for you
You
and the
did.
boys. And once me and Tara got married,
That's
then
right.
I moved in. I never had the experience of being on my own, surviving on my own,
Living on your
uh,
own.
just just being a man on my own. And I think
It's
every
true.
man should do that
That's
first
good advice.
before he takes on a wife, and then in these days take on a wife and children.
Yeah, I
In
mean, we
this day
just
and
got to keep
age,
it real.
yeah,
We got to
yeah,
keep it real, you know. And I absolutely agree with you because it was different. Because me personally, I was used to living on my own
right,
and just taking care of Tara, just taking care of me. And my extra money was my extra money. After my boys had what they needed, and the cupboards, the pantry, the refrigerator was stocked, and the bills were paid, my extra money was my extra money. So if I wanted to get my hair and my nails, or if I wanted to buy a bag, or I wanted to buy whatever, my extra money was my extra money. No, so, but when I became Mrs. Suba, I gotta be honest. Can I be honest?
what?
I didn't understand how I had to give him my money or put our money together. I just y'all don't laugh at me. Thomas is laugh. I'm so serious. I couldn't let go of you can say I was very strong, very dominant because living on your own as a single parent, you have to be strong. You have to be confident, and you have to be, you just took on that role as because you are the dominant one in your household. And so it was kind of hard for me to slide in with my husband and be the submissive one. I was hiding money, not hiding it, y'all. Stop judging me. I had another account. I like had my Wachovia account. He had his Bank of America account, and then I got real slick. I was telling somebody this last night. I said I got real slick, and I was like, "Well, man, now he know about my Wachovia account." So I started opened up a credit union account, and I was taking money from three of my checks and like putting $75 each. Y'all judging me. I can feel the judgment. I did it because I could always remember hearing, always stash a little something, you know. And what happened with me was we kind of got into a little bind. And I don't remember what it was, but it was like a $600 bond. We needed the money. And, we newly married and everything. So, our parents are always there for us to support us or whatever. But I missed and said to Thomas, "Oh, I got it." Oh, I guess that look on that brother face like, "Got it? You just went and got $600 from where?" Well, well, I mean, that was a part of me just not being able to release that singleness. It was tough.
hmm
It was tough. It was tough.
It was. It was.
It was an
It
adjustment.
was. And it really was.
But I
And
made those, fast forward, I changed,
oh yeah,
y'all. We
yeah,
got
yeah.
one bank account and one state. Well, we got several bank, but it's all joint. Okay. Y'all stop judging me. Some of y'all still got secret accounts.
Next thing we have to do is consider our spouse or our loved one in everything. And you just can't and I've been guilty of this, and I don't mind being transparent. There have been a lot of times, and I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I even still do this to this day. I'll make a decision or think about something without considering or thinking about my wife, and sometimes that's just so easy to do. It's like, and then I fell in that valley where I was trying to figure out, well, do I consider my wife in this or don't I? Like that. So, but you have to think of not just yourself, but think about your wife in everything.
That's true. I remember when we really started focusing on and thinking about our budget, because there was a time where, when you're newly married and you're kind of getting used to one another, you're kind of getting used to blending your incomes and different things like that. And at that point, we had to consider budgeting. That's something that we didn't do um, together as a couple. And I can recall Thomas saying, "Okay, babe, so I bring home the money." And what'd you say? And
What did I say?
I give you the money.
Oh, like the old Bill,
He said,
the old,
he said
the old Bill Cosby. I make the money.
I make the money.
I bring home the money, and my wife Camille.
Oh, you.
Some of y'all ain't laughing. I
I
see some of
know.
y'all.
Oh.
I'm not trying to. We're
God
not trying to throw
bless
shade or nothing
Bill.
on Bill
God
Cosby, but
bless
Bill
Bill. He was
Cosby,
funny.
he
He
was
was
that
funny.
dude back in the day.
Yeah, he was.
He was that dude.
He's still that dude.
He
just have
is. He
issues.
is. He is.
We gonna pray for Bill.
Yes, we are.
Father in
Yes,
Jesus'
yes,
name.
we are. Yes, we are. But I used to have that Bill. I still had a Bill Cosby mentality. I make the money, babe, and you take over.
That was good. That was good, baby.
My wife and my 5 children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five children, and my wife Camille. I bring all my money home to my
bring
wife.
the money home,
So
and
that was the system.
and he said, "Babe, and you budgeted."
Right.
And then, we had 2 debit cards for the account because we shared the account. And Thomas would just swipe, swipe, swipe. He was swiper, like Dora the Explorer swiper.
I wish y'all could see my face right now.
Hey, look, he was swiping. He was swiping like, and no tomorrow. I'm like, well, babe, what? Okay, wait, hold up. I thought I was inconsiderate because I wasn't trying to be the boss. You asked me to manage the money.
Right.
And in managing the money, I had to know where things were going. And you was just, I feel like ice cream. I'm swiping. I want McDonald's. I'm swiping. Firehouse Sub today. I'm swiping. So what we ended up doing in order, a good compromise for that was, babe, let's just set up a weekly allowance for both of us. We have XYZ. Spend it however you like.
Right.
Whatever you like. But that way, we had that little pocket change that we didn't have to, from the main household budget, consider each other before. And not just in finances, in decisions we make.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it now. You work for the church for a little while, playing, and somebody will come up to you and be like, "Tom, hey man, can you help me out on this program, blah, 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 blah." And you'd be like, "Oh yeah, no problem. I got you." And then you would come home and you'd be like, "Babe, yeah." I said, "Yeah, honey, we're going to go such and such and so and so." "Oh, but I had told so and so that I was going to help them." Thank the Lord for joint calendars on our iPhones. Thank you,
Yes.
Lord. That solves a lot
Yes.
of problems too. But consider your
Yes.
spouse.
And
He's looking at me like,
everything.
"Move on, baby." That's what
For
you
real.
gave me to move on.
Yes, I did.
Oh, he didn't like what I was saying, but he'll be okay. We're gonna pray for him right now, Father, in Jesus' name. I see somebody's being healed by that, baby.
They are. Do you want a Fendi bag with that Chanel bag? You can't just go buy it and have it, and you can't just go buy it, have it, without considering your loved one.
Why are you reading them notes off the paper like that?
Why am I?
I don't understand. We already covered that. We was talking
No, we
about
didn't.
I was talking about. I just couldn't go out and buy that Chanel or that Fendi bag without. When I was single, I could do
Okay.
what I
All
wanted
right.
to with my
All right.
money.
You're right. You're right. Okay. All right. All right. All right.
See,
all
he
right.
was so
Just
busy
like-
trying to hope I
just
was be
like-
quiet.
Just
He
like
wouldn't leave.
on a guy's on a guy's perspective, they can't just buy them Jordans, or in my case, see them certain shoes that I like to buy. I
Yeah.
can't just.
Let me tell you.
I just can't buy it.
Let me tell you. Thomas is a stalker.
How am I
Yeah.
a stalker?
He is a stalk. Y'all work Everybody that work at dealers, raise their hand. Y'all see Thomas around there? Send him home.
No, I just plan. I don't stalk. I
Boy, he will
plan.
stalk that outfit and be
That's
like,
right. I go put
yes.
my hand on
He
it.
put his hand on it, y'all.
I
Not
go
like
stare at it.
he go get a shirt and a tie and put it next to it. And he's like,
That's right.
put it
This,
in the budget.
this is
I like that, baby. You
that's
put it in the
right.
budget. I
That's
like
right. I
that.
put it in the budget. That's right.
But if y'all see him in Dilla, call me.
It ain't quite that serious.
Nah, it ain't. Nah, it ain't.
It ain't quite that serious. And you know what else? You know what else, Terry? And I don't think we've really had this problem. The holidays.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Because when I was single, it was a given. I was going to mom's house for Thanksgiving, for Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
Easter, 4th of July. We was going to Mount Pleasant to my mama's house.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's a cookout or a sit down dinner, we was going there. It was just, where else was I gonna go?
Right. Now, when you're single, you can do what you want to do. But when you're married, you got to kind of share the holidays. You got to be able to know when you're going to your parents' house versus when you're going to your in-laws'
Going
house.
to the in-laws.
Whether it's Thanksgiving at one, Christmas at the other, or whether you break half the day in one and half the day in. But it has to be, you have to be fair on both sides.
That's true. That's
You
true.
have to be fair on both
Oh,
sides.
and Lord God forbid you don't get along with your in-laws. Oh gosh, I
that's-
know. Y'all, I'm praying for y'all.
And I was thinking the same thing. I was saying to myself,
Everybody don't get along.
that's true. And that's a show even by itself right there. That is so true. Because I see some of
Mm-mm.
y'all staring at me right now and like, listening to me like and chewing that gum and saying, like that. Cause,
I ain't going.
but
I ain't
must
going over to her
admit,
house.
We don't, thank God, we
High
don't
five, baby.
have that problem.
I
We do.
love my mother-in-law. I love my father-in-law.
I love my mother-in-law and my father-in-law.
They have never made me feel awkward. They have never made me feel uncomfortable. They have always, just loved me for who I was. I could be myself no matter what. I didn't have to pretend around them. They took me in like, not like I was on the street or something. I didn't have a family, but they just took me in and loved me like their own.
Same
They
with me.
did. So I don't have those issues. But yeah, that is a show in itself because there's
That
a
is
reason behind those issues.
Yes, it is.
If there's a reason behind those
Yes.
issues, come on,
A whole lot
inbox
of
us. Who wants to do this show? Who specializes? I know it's a pastor out there that specializes in that ministry.
reasons.
Ooh, I'm shouting. I'm still serious though. There's a reason why.
It sure
Okay,
is.
but I have to admit, there was one time.
Babe, let's save that for the show.
I'm just saying that there may have been just a little brief scuffle between me and my mother-in-law, but my husband stood his ground. He did not take any sides. He let us work it out. And baby, that's the best thing you could have done with us because we don't ever come to you no more. We just talk to each other.
All right.
He said, "All right."
All right.
Yeah, but the in-laws, shared time.
Yes, yes, yes. Things change. And that's what I like about the show because things change once children are involved. And we're going to have some other shows coming up that's going to involve children. But it has to be even a balance before the children come along and when the children are here or when they're there.
You mean when you come in the marriage with kids?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. We got a future show coming up dealing with that. But yes.
Yeah. But it's you just gotta balance.
Right.
Balance is the key to all of that. Uh-oh. Thomas, are you reading his notes?
Why are you pausing?
Because you're reading the notes. I'm like, come on,
I'm a
man.
note reader. I'm a note reader. I'm a note reader. Keywords that start a argument or start a conflict. And women,
We are
you know those
masters.
words or you know how to
I
push
have
your husband's
a
button.
PhD in key fire starting words.
She
I
sure
got
do.
a PhD.
She
I'm
sure
doctor,
do.
doctor. I am, y'all. Okay.
She does.
Lord is working on. I'm better though. I've gotten better.
Yeah, you've gotten
A
better.
little bit more subtle.
And you know what? I have keywords too.
Oh yeah.
Both of us know how to push
Let me
each other's
explain
buttons.
something. See, automatically, because you're kind of known as the laid back guy, so they like, yeah, poor Tom. That what they saying? That what y'all saying? They say, I can't wait till we go live so y'all can really see this, okay? Poor Thomas, that girl, I know that girl taking him through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Thomas. You just eat it up too, right?
Yeah.
Y'all don't know Thomas like I know Thomas.
Woo.
Can I get some choir
Yeah.
members up in here to agree with me? They seen the real Thomas come out, the fire. Okay, so I'm just saying, in my defense, you full of fire.
And in a
But you have to be
relationship,
careful. You have to be careful
you
with
do
those
have to be,
words.
and you have to learn how to take the high road.
Yeah.
One way or another, you have to learn how to take.
Somebody
the high
got
road.
to take the high
Somebody
road,
got to take.
or you're gonna be low all the time.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
You really are.
Ain't that the truth? And getting through emotionally charged arguments, um, and you can argue without. What did my dad used to say? You can disagree without being disagreeable.
Oh yeah.
There's a right and a wrong way to argue,
I
and
haven't learned that yet.
well,
I'm still learning.
both of us, all of us, and
Mhm.
I'll say that even for those that's listening, all of us are we're like a work in progress.
We are.
And so it's like you live and you learn and you live and you learn and you live and you learn. And no matter how long you've been married, been together, been single, whatever, there's always something you're going to learn about yourself
That's right.
and learn about your significant other. And even with arguments, is nothing. Arguing is very helpful. It's nothing helpful. It's nothing wrong with it. It's how you argue and to what degree it goes, and then how you come out of the argument.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
important part.
Yeah.
How, are you able to? Because I'm a very emotionally charged person. If I'm passionate about something, and I think, you know, we get in some heated discussions now. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, you can sit out there. There, perfect people make some noise. Who sings that song? The Walls Group. Perfect people.
Oh, they do.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mm.
perfect people.
This song is for you.
This song is for you. It's called Perfect People.
That's the name. I never knew that.
Yes, it's the name of the song. Perfect people make
This
some
song is for
noise.
you.
Yep, it's called
Okay.
Perfect People. That's what I'm talking about. There's nobody perfect. And I'm
No.
definitely not claiming to be that person. So we do get emotionally
no.
charged. Oh,
I
did
just said, oh no.
we do get emotionally charged. But we're learning. We're even learning. I think I learn more. I've learned more how to come out of it. And I think I've said I'm sorry more than I have in the past. I'm working on that. Baby, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Or I'm sorry about the way I said it. Or maybe if I came at you another way, we wouldn't, you know, be giving each other the silent treatment. Or can we just move on from this? But somebody has to at the end of the day. You said we can agree to disagree if we don't agree to disagree. But if you're wrong, just admit you're wrong. That was one of the hardest things for me.
Yeah, disagree without being disagreeable.
Disagree without being disagreeable. But that was one of the hardest lessons I had to learn. Like, babe, let your pride out the door. I mean, this is your husband. You love him. You ain't going nowhere. It's harder to live in a house with that much tension. And then with the children, it's just not healthy.
Right.
So I had to learn how to say, babe, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not sorry about what I said, but how I said it. You
Mm-hmm.
probably could have understood from my perspective a little bit better if I had came another way.
Right.
Let's talk about
right.
it. Yeah, we're talking about the time. We're looking at the time. He's watching the clock and pointing at the clock.
Because we're actually, I mean, we are, but we're not. We're not, but we are. But we actually out of time because we don't want to keep.
Oh, but I was having so much fun
I-
arguing with
I
you.
know, but we don't. We want people to
To come back next
come
time.
back. Yeah, we want them to come
Y'all,
back.
Okay, so
We're excited about it.
I can't say who's coming on.
No, you can't.
I can't even say what we're going to be talking about.
No, you can't.
But I can invite you to message us
Yes.
at Suber Sonic U, and I think it's up as Suber Sonic space U on Facebook. Send us an inbox message if there's something that you want to talk about or a topic that you think is a hot topic, and we can we'll get the crew in and we'll discuss it and get you in the studio and talk about it.
Yeah.
Um,
And let us know if you enjoyed it.
let us know. Let us know. And if you like it, share it with somebody. And like the page, Supersonic You as well. Say something, baby. Oh, keep talking.
Yeah, wrap
He's
it up.
telling me to keep talking.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
you
I'm gonna be
saying?
the director
Are
now.
you saying wrap it
Yeah,
up or
wrap
keep
it up.
talking? You
Wrap
got to
it up.
be
I'm
more
going
clear because I
wrap it
can
up.
talk.
This means
Full.
wrap it up.
Okay, he's giving y'all looking forward to spending some more time with you next week. Join us again for another episode of In
In
Session
session.
with Thomas and Tara Suber. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Party people make
Party
some
people make
noise.
some